Hey y'all, Eric here with another video for LGBT History Month. Today, this video is for October 14th, and many of you, if you have been paying attention last month, this day was going to be designated as a day of honor of Charlie Kirk as a national hero. However, I disagree with that, and I will not be celebrating Charlie Kirk because he is not, in my opinion, a national hero. How you die does not support how you lived. Today, I'm honoring an actual national hero, Mark Bingham. Here is a picture of Mark Bingham. This picture is from a qberg.com, remembering Mark Bingham from 9/11. So let's talk about Mark so that you'll understand who he was and remember him going forward. So Mark Kendall Bingham was born in 1970. He was an American public relations executive who founded his own company, the Bingham Group. During the September 11th attacks in 2001, he was a passenger on board United Airlines Flight 93. Bingham was among the passengers who, along with Todd Beamer, Tom Burnett, and Jeremy Glick, formed the plan to retake the plane from the hijackers and led the effort that resulted in the crash of the plane in a field near Shanksville, Pennsylvania, thwarting the hijackers' plan to crash the plane into a building in Washington, D.C., most likely either the U.S. Capitol building or the White House. Mark, as well as Todd, Tom, and Jeremy, they saved hundreds of thousands of people. However, everyone on the plane died. His early life, he was the only child of his parents, and he was raised by his mom and her family when they divorced. And he was doing an aspiring filmmaker and using a video camera as a personal diary to document his life and those of his family and friends. He graduated from Los Gatos High School as a two-year captain of his rugby team in 1988. As an undergrad at the University of California at Berkeley, Bingham played on two of Coach Jack Clark's national championship winning rugby teams in the early 1990s. He also joined Chi Psi fraternity, eventually becoming its president. Upon graduating at the age of 21, Bingham came out as gay to his family and friends. He created his own company, which was called the Bingham Group. At the time of his death, Bingham had recently opened a satellite office of his public relations firm in New York City and was spending more time on the East Coast. He discussed his plans with his friend Scott Glassingen to form a New York City rugby team, the Gotham Knights. Now, what he did on September 11th. On the morning of September 11th, Bingham overslept and nearly missed his flight on his way to San Francisco to be an usher in his fraternity brother Joseph Salama's wedding. He arrived at Terminal A at Newark International Airport at 7:40 a.m. ran to gate 17, and was the last passenger to board United Airlines Flight 93, taking seat 4D next to passenger Tom Burnett. United Airlines Flight 93 was scheduled to depart at 8 a.m., but the plane did not depart until 42 minutes later due to runway traffic delays. 4 minutes later, American Airlines Flight 11 crashed into the World Trade Center's North Tower. At 9:03 a.m., as United Airlines Flight 175 crashed into the South Tower, Flight 93 climbed to cruising altitude, heading west over New Jersey and into Pennsylvania. At 9:25 a.m., Flight 93 was above eastern Ohio, and pilots Jason Dahl and Leroy Homer received an alert. Beware of cockpit intrusion on the cockpit computer device ACARS or ACARS, the Aircraft Communications and Reporting Systems. 3 minutes later, Cleveland controllers could hear screams over the cockpit's open microphone. Moments later, the hijackers, led by the Lebanese Ziad Jarrah, took over the plane's controls and told passengers, "Keep remaining seating. We have a bomb on board." Bingham and the other passengers were herded into the back of the plane. Within 6 minutes, the plane changed course and headed for Washington, D.C. Several of the passengers made phone calls to loved ones who informed them about the two planes that had crashed in the World Trade Center. After the hijackers veered the plane sharply south, the passengers decided to act. Bingham, along with Todd Binger, Tom Burnett, and Jerry Glick, formed a plan to take the plane back from the hijackers. They relayed this plan to their loved ones and the authorities via telephone. Bingham got through to his aunt's home in California. Bingham stated, "This is Mark Bingham. I want to let you guys know that I love you in case I don't see you again. I'm on United Airlines Flight 93. It has been hijacked." According to the Week, Hoagland formed the impression that her son spoke confidently with a fellow passenger to form a plan to retake the plane. According to ABC News, the call cut off after about 3 minutes. Hoagland, after seeing news reports of the plane's hijacking, called him back and left 2 messages for him, calmly saying, "Mark, this is your mom. The news is that it's been hijacked by terrorists. They are planning to probably use the plane as a target to hit some site on the ground. I would say go ahead and do everything you can to overpower them because they are hell-bent. Try to call me back if you can." Bingham, Burnett, and Glick were each more than 6 feet tall, well-built and fit. As they made their decision to retake the plane, Glick related this over the phone to his wife, Liz. Fellow passenger Tom Beamer, speaking to GTE Verizon Lisa Jefferson and the FBI, related that he too was part of this group. They were joined by other passengers, including Lou Nack, Rich Guadagno, Alan Beaver, Honor Elizabeth Wainio, Linda Gronlin, and William Cashman, along with flight attendants Sandra Bradshaw and Cece Ross Lyles, in discussing their options and voting on a course of action, ultimately deciding to storm the cockpit and take over the plane. According to 911 Commission report, after the plane's voice data recorder was recovered, it revealed pounding and crashing sounds against the cockpit door and shouts and screams in English. "Let's get them," a passenger cried. A hijacker shouts, "Allahu Akbar, God is great." Jarrah repeatedly pitched the plane to knock passengers off their feet, but the passengers apparently managed to invade the cockpit, where one was heard shouting in the cockpit, "If we don't, we'll die." At 10:02 a.m., a hijacker ordered, "Pull it down, pull it down." The 9/11 Commission later reported that the plane's control wheel was turned hard to the right, causing it to roll on its back and plow into an empty field in Shanksville, Pennsylvania, at 580 miles per hour, killing everyone on board. The plane was 20 minutes of flying time away from its suspected target, the White House or the U.S. Capitol building in Washington, D.C. According to Vice President Dick Cheney, President George W. Bush gave the order to shoot the plane down. Bingham was survived by his parents and the Hoagland family members who played a part in his upbringing, by his stepmother and various step-siblings, and by his partner of 6 years, Paul Holmes. Holmes described Bingham as a brave, competitive man, saying he hated to lose at anything. He was known to proudly display a scar he received after being gorged at the Running of the Bulls in Pamplona, Spain. He is buried in Madrone Cemetery in Saratoga, California. U.S. Senators John McCain and Barbara Boxer honored Bingham on September the 17th, 2001, in a ceremony for San Francisco Bay Area victims of the attacks, presenting a folded American flag to his partner, Paul Holmes. All of the former, current, and future U.S. presidents at the time gave praise to Bingham, including Gerald Ford, Jimmy Carter, Ronald Reagan, George H.W. Bush, Bill Clinton, George W. Bush, Barack Obama, Donald Trump, and Joe Biden. The Mark Kendall Bingham Memorial Tournament, referred to as the Bingham Cup, is a biennial international rugby union competition predominantly for gay and bisexual men, was established in 2002 in his memory. Bingham, along with the other passengers of Flight 93, were posthumously awarded the Arthur Ashe Courage Award in 2002. The Eureka Valley Recreation Center's gymnasium in San Francisco was renamed the Mark Bingham Gymnasium in August of 2002. Singer Melissa Etheridge dedicated the song Tuesday Morning in 2004 to his memory. At the Flight 93 National Memorial in Pennsylvania, Bingham's name is located on one of the 48-foot tall, 2.4 meters panels of polished 3-inch thick granite that comprise the memorial's wall of names. Mark Bingham, ladies and gentlemen, is a national hero. And so today, on October 14th, I honor Mark Bingham's memory. I will see you on the next LGBT History video. Take care.